You are watching PR English Shorthand Dictations YouTube channel.
This is English Shorthand Dictation number 384 and the dictation speed is 120 words per minute. Ready? Start. Honorable Chairman, Sir, I stand here to deliberate on this interim budget which was placed before this House some days ago. I was asking my friend why this term interim budget has been written in the speech of Honorable Finance Minister. It has a ring of paradox. By Indian protocol, this vote on account has to resist momentous moves as Lok Sabha polls are due in another 2 months' time, after which a new government will propose revenue and expenditure plans for 2024-25. This is an extraordinary movement backed by a rare momentum, both economic and political. The finance minister's proposals reveal confidence. I would say this interim budget presented ahead of the general elections bears the stamp of a government that seems confident of getting another term and is looking at the long term picture. Priority has been given to fiscal consolidation and capital expenditure. Even populism has taken a back seat. We are aware that the interim budget is bound by a spirit of the Model Code of Conduct of the Election Commission, which forbids any policy measure that could influence the election outcome. The letter of the law applies only after the election is notified, which cannot be earlier than 3 weeks prior to the first date of election. In an election year, in a welcome return to transparency and convention, this interim budget has stuck to the essentials. There are no spectacular giveaways, as has been mentioned, about waiving out loans of around 62,000 crore rupees that happened in 2009. There is no populist step taken by the government. This reveals the confidence with which the government views its prospects in the coming elections. Sir, I would like to draw the attention of the government towards the vast tapestry of India's economic narrative. There exists a stark duality. My honorable friend, Mr. Dubey, while deliberating on this budget, had mentioned about East, West, North, South, and the poverty of Eastern India. Urban prosperity dances to a different tune today in our country. The rural heartland struggles for survival. The economic disparity demands our attention and contemplation. For millions in rural India, an economic slowdown has become an oppressive reality, contrary to the nation's overall economic triumph. The crux of the issue lies in the fraying fabric of rural employment. Fewer jobs, intensified competition, and decreasing farm output erode the financial stability of those living in the agricultural hinterland. The narrative of rural India's struggles contrasts sharply with the urban success story. The sale of smartphones and SUVs underscores a thriving consumer market. Yet, this urban affluence appears as a mere echo in the vast rural landscapes where two wheeler sales are considered a barometer of rural consumption. Therefore, I would say the time is ripe for introspection and action for the very essence of inclusive growth that India aspires to achieve. Sir, I would also like to draw the attention of the government to the other two issues. One relates to railways, as the budget also covers railways to a greater extent. I would say that less than 50% of the railway passengers have insurance cover. Odisha witnessed a major rail accident some months ago, which also forced the Prime Minister to visit that place. A large number of people died in that accident where three trains collided with each other. The deadly Odisha train tragedy that claimed 288 lives and left over 920 injured has brought to the fore a serious issue of train journey not being covered by insurance unless opted for in the online booking of tickets. Indian Railways is the fourth largest railway system in the world by size and carries over 800 crore people every year. I wonder why all railway passengers cannot be insured. Why can Indian Railways not make the insurance coverage mandatory for all passengers? They can seek a premium from passengers and insure the traveler through insurance companies. Railway officials have stated that insurance was included by default in all train tickets over a decade ago before 2014, but it was stopped after insurance companies backed out, citing huge losses due to high incidents of train accidents in those years. Indian Railways, however, pays a compensation of 8 lakh rupees as awarded by Railway Claims Tribunal for death of passengers and as decided on the basis of loss of earning capacity. This means kins of 288 passengers killed and 920 injured in Balasore train accident can apply for insurance claim, and it will take some years to get that claim. I would urge upon the government to consider this aspect and ensure all passengers, especially those who are traveling in general coaches. Another point which I would like to mention here is relating to the subsidies, which I think some members also have mentioned today during deliberation. The central government provides various subsidies such as food subsidy, subsidized fertilizer, petroleum subsidy for LPG, and interest subsidies. Here, I would like to mention about fertilizer subsidy in a nutshell. Fertilizer subsidy is paid to manufacturers and importers who sell fertilizers to farmers at less than market prices. In the production of fertilizers, India is heavily dependent on imports for procuring raw materials. The 15th Finance Commission had noted that such dependence makes India vulnerable to international prices and makes fertilizer subsidies unsustainable. In the past, the central government has resorted to off budget financing to defer payment of fertilizer subsidy. The Standing Committee of Parliament on Chemicals and Fertilizers in 2020 had observed that several fertilizer plants operate with very old technology. Thus, the government bears the cost of this inefficiency in terms of higher subsidy. It had recommended that farmers should receive fertilizer subsidy directly in their bank accounts, while the manufacturers should be free to produce and sell fertilizers as per their own system. I think this is the best suggestion which the standing committee had given relating to the subsidy component. I believe that the government should consider it as early as possible.